case you forgot that Monsters was made in the 80s, this opening is here to remind you. So Allison and Matt are studying, but she's a bit distracted. Apparently it's about a tribe of people who believe in spirit animals, basically.
To think that your soul is really a wild creature, something strong and fierce.
No, actually some of them are turtles, rabbits, things like that.
Yeah, this is probably gonna come up again later.
What do you see me as?
A bird. A bird of paradise.
Aw, he's into her.
You know, I didn't want to tell you this, Allison. Not tonight. Not how I feel about you. I really like...
Maybe he's a tiger. Or a falcon.
What?
So she's obsessed with the guy in this poster.
Sometimes when I'm studying and I'm really bored, I just pray to this poster. I imagine that I hear a motorcycle outside my window. He takes me away to a life of adventure with him.
Allison, the guy's dead.
I get it. He's sort of an ex-B of James Dean, only he's a TV star instead of a movie star. Matt tells her she doesn't know anything about him as a person, but it turns out that she met him once.
I was working out at Ronnie's on Route 12. One day, he drove up on his motorcycle. He said something to me I'll never forget.
She won't say what he told her because it's too personal, but he gave her something.
Well, then what did he do? Pledge his undying love to you? I can't believe you're into this garbage. You're way too smart for this, Allison.
Is she, though?
I'm sick of spending all my time with dreary pencil pushers and study hall boobs.
You've been spending way too much time with dull boobs.
As opposed to shiny boobs? Yeah, sorry, I couldn't pass that up. Matt's about had it.
You want to get close to the Rebel Angel?
No!
Sorry.
Awkward.
I gotta go.
Apparently that poster was glued to the wall.
I wish you could come and take me away.
Wow, there's even a doll of this guy. Not sure what's going on with the placement of that candle, though. So later that night...
Allison.
Tony. I thought you were dead.
I am. But you can help. Make love to me, Allison. It's the only way we can be together.
Yeah, so that happened.
Allison, there's something wrong with this picture.
Oh, Matt, I'm so happy.
I wouldn't count on a long-term relationship. Dead is dead.
What do you know about being dead?
I know that it's permanent.
I love how they're acting like this is a totally mundane thing that's just a little weird.
Dead people don't just waltz back and pick up their lives where they left off.
Like he came back unexpectedly from out of town or something.
Can't you just be happy for me, Matt?
By the way, he eats baby food.
It's pre-digested. You eat food that's already broken down, the body works less, and you don't age.
This guy is like the love child of John Bender and Joey Tribbiani.
These are the big kind. I told you to get the little ones, didn't I? You know, marshmallows have got to be picked when they're young and tender, otherwise, what's the use?
Wow.
Why are you so tired? What's wrong with you?
Matt, I was up a lot last night. I really should get back to bed.
Okay, so he's a vampire? Maybe.
I will not take one penny below what we agreed upon. Do you understand that? What? We must have a bad connection.
Yeah, this episode knows exactly what it's doing.
Mother? Mother, will you put the nurse back on?
So anyway, Matt goes to see Tony Sterling's agent.
I saw Tony Sterling.
Of course, she doesn't believe him at first.
Get me security.
He was eating this. And he thinks the marshmallow is a vegetable.
He did it. He really did it.
So she seems to know why this is happening, and Matt is worried about Allison.
I created him. Then he had to go and die on me, the ungrateful jerk.
Well, you don't seem very surprised that he's come back.
So we're finally getting into what all Tony did and is doing.
You can make it in hell?
He used to swear by that damn book. Do you know how he died? He took drugs and fell asleep under a sun lamp. He tanned himself to death.
Yeah, he sure was something, wasn't he?
Human sacrifice in 5 easy steps.
It was just this one incident. And the girl I hear is recovering nicely.
Also, it turns out that Tony had a lot of those rings, and he gave them out to a lot of girls.
We used to strap Tony on a motorcycle and send him into certain target areas. He would walk into a diner or a Piggly Wiggly, then he'd take the ring off his finger and give it to some wide-eyed girl behind the counter.
But he always said the same thing.
I'll come back when you least expect me. I won't forget you, so-and-so. I couldn't if I wanted to. He was a parasite, like one of those eels that attach themselves to the bodies of sharks and suck out their life's blood.
An eel, huh? Weren't they talking about spirit animals earlier?
I should know. I was one of those poor sharks. Tell Tony to call me. Dead or alive, he signed with me.
She was fun. Later on, Tony is having a conversation.
Hi.
How you doing?
Don't you owe me something?
Sounds like he works for the same guy as Clancy and Satan in the Suburbs.
You owe me a soul. Didn't I say I wanted a soul? Just a minor soul? Nobody important.
So yeah, he's after Allison's soul.
No problem. I'm collecting today. She'll be on your desk first thing tomorrow morning.
She better be. I gotta go. I'm on another mirror.
I'm on another mirror. So Matt goes back to get Allison away from Tony,
He needs your soul.
Hey!
who naturally shows up, and Matt confronts him with the truth.
One thing you know about me, Allison, I do my homework. I do your homework.
Oh my god, this episode.
I found out that you were a user, a sleaze, a coward. You were afraid of your own motorcycle. They had to give you training wheels. Like your wife was jealous when she found you in bed with that ram's head and those devil worshippers?
Your wife.
She's kind of missing the point a little, but at least she's getting on the right side now.
I'll come back for you someday when you least expect me. I'll never forget you, Allison. I couldn't if I wanted to.
How did you know?
He said it to everybody.
Not everybody. Like just chicks 18 to 34.
The great lines just keep on coming.
When we get to hell,
Hell. I thought you were taking me to New York.
same difference.
Predictable but cute.
Don't do that.
Now that Allison is rejecting him, his true colors start to show. And the more keepsakes she destroys, the worse he starts to look.
I can still have a career. I'm on the fast track down there.
Send him away, Allison. You brought him here. You have to send him away.
Go away. I don't want you, you creep.
That's pretty pathetic, Allison.
Matt and Tony fight it out and... yeah, he's turning into an eel. Allison still has one last piece of memorabilia, and it's the most important one. When she flushes the ring, he completely turns into an eel and... well, that's an effect. I love how goofy this looks.
I've been such a fool.
Oh, it's not your fault. You didn't know he had the soul of a giant eel. Actually, a lamprey.
Mom, be quiet.
Aww, and so ends Rerun. This is one of those episodes of Monsters that doesn't take itself seriously at all, and god, those are so much fun. They kind of intentionally went with sitcom humor, kind of like My Zombie Lover. There is some clever foreshadowing going on, though. First with the spirit animals and how the animal in question isn't always something sexy like a wolf or eagle. Then with the show Tony Sterling is known for having angel in the name, it turns out that he's basically an eel demon. I also like the little fake out where it looks like he might be a vampire. That'd certainly explain how he came back to life and apparently has to bite her on the neck. Though there's a similar metaphor to be made with eels and how they latch onto other fish to feed off of them, and how some people might stealthily take advantage of others. Not to mention how he becomes more and more physically ugly as Allison learns the truth about him. Matt was played by Mitchell Whitfield, who was Rachel's ex Barry on Friends. He was also in My Cousin Vinny. But other than that, he seems to be quite an accomplished voice actor. This episode was written by Peg Holler and Bob Schneider, who also co-wrote Parents from Space and have about 3 more episodes coming. They've done a good job so far. I hope it continues. So that's about all I have to say about this one. It's got kind of a silly, fun, sitcom-y feel to it, but it's also surprisingly clever with foreshadowing and symbolism. I love these kinds of episodes. Next up is Love Hurts. See you then.
And I know for a fact that you failed your driver's test 6 times.
5 times. The last time I paid the guy off.
Is this true? Are you a poor driver?